Now, the reason why I love working down in Mexico, because some people ask me this question here. We have so many problems in the United States. Why would you want to take this to Mexico? Well, first of all, I don't know. You ask God. But let me give you my experience with working on trying to do this type of ministry here in the United States, because I believe God has been pursuing me for quite some time to do this full time. My bad. But in any case, so let's say I went full time with Good News Jail and Prison Ministry with a skill level he's given me of evangelist. So I've gotten permission actually from, this is a few years ago, from a vice president. He said he would hook me up with the president and to give me permission, or try to give me permission, to go onto all the church, the prisons and jails that they're involved in, and just let me go from place to place to place to share the gospel, according to my testimony here. And so that was a fantasy of mine. We'll call it fantasy. So in any case on here, if I did that, I could get into one place a day, and then I'm going to have to travel or get on a plane because they're so far apart. Okay? That's awesome. Nothing wrong with that. But then again, God kept leading me back to Mexico. Well, in Ensenada, listen to this. This is absolutely huge, and this is what gets me so excited with the ministry God has given us with the rehab down in Mexico. The dollar goes much farther in Mexico because of the value of the dollar. And instead of me going into this prison over here in Omaha, and then a day later driving over to Des Moines to get to that prison or jail, and then a day later driving or flying to that next place here, how cool would it be if I could go into 4 rehabs a day on a Mexico economy? So what I do is I fly into San Diego. Right now, this is the ministry God is leading me to spend 2 weeks a month down in Mexico, just telling you what he's leading me to do, and to go into these rehabs. These rehabs are a dime a dozen. There's massive amounts of them. I already told you, in the town of Ensenada, there's like 300 of them, we're guessing-ish. Nobody really knows. You go 90 miles north, just south of San Diego's Tijuana, that's double the population. I've worked up there. That's 1 million people. So let's say there's double amount of rehabs up there. And then you go over here to Mexicali, another 90 miles a different way. That's 1 million people. I've worked over there. These places, and nobody's going into these rehabs with a ministry like this. Okay? Again, there's awesome pastors that go out to these places here. But I will suggest to you, and I've heard this from some of the directors, but in many cases, it's a watered-down gospel message. God is love. Everybody goes to heaven. Some of them are teaching the right thing, but there's no curriculum. There's no follow-up like a Good News Jail and Prison Ministry. I love that ministry, but there's no ministry like that down there, and that's where God has led us to this. It's a unique ministry opportunity. The money will go a lot farther here. And once again, would I rather go into one, this is me, would I rather go into one prison a day, or I can get into 4 rehabs in one day? That I've done that before. And so I could go see through evangelistic efforts, that's part of our ministry here is the evangelism part, as I can get into 4 rehabs in a day, seeing anywhere from 80 to 20 per place to maybe as many as 150 a day. 4 different rehabs. I could never do that in this other ministry. And that other ministry is going to cost me a lot more, and it's just me doing it. This way we have a staff of people doing it. So the dollar goes much farther down there. So that's why God is leading us down there. Folks, there is so many of these rehabs. And here's the other thing you've got to understand. In these rehabs, they're in there anywhere from 6 months to a year, and they're released, and a whole new group is brought in because it's a business down there. The drugs and alcohol and porn is out of control because of the cartels. So many more people are getting addicted over and over and over again. And again, if there's nothing to come along, the repeat offenders, 80% recidivism, they'll just go and leave, and then their family's going to put them back in there. That's exactly what happens. So it's a business down there. So we need something to come along to be able to cut to the chase, to give them a transformational process. And that's where the real gospel, the real good news, the real Great Commission is go and tell, teach them, obey. There is incredible opportunities. So in these 3 cities alone, Mexicali, 90 miles from Ensenada, Tijuana, 90 miles from Ensenada, Ensenada itself, 500,000. We have close to 1,000 different rehabs. Every 6 months to a year gets a whole new group of people in. So rather than go out and finding new places, we can go back to the same place over and over and over. Talk about job security. Now, what about the rest of Mexico? Well, I'm an old man. The thing is here is it's not me doing this. It's a ministry doing this. We're here to build legacy. We're here to plant seeds. We're here to get additional evangelists. We're here to have somebody else come along and allow us to train them through the power of the Holy Spirit on what evangelism is, what discipleship is, what a curriculum is. And again, part of our job back in the United States here is to fund it. So we need people's help, because I don't know about you, but Jesus is coming back soon. Just take a look at the news, right? I don't have to convince you in this. This is a crazy world we're living in. If we knew that Christ was coming back in 2 weeks, how would we do ministry differently? How would I invest my money differently? Folks, I believe that the Great Commission is perhaps one of the most, if not the most, I stand to be corrected, important ministry out there, shy of the church itself. And it's the church's job to equip, to do the Great Commission. It's not just particular people. We're all to be involved in that.